Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out and sticking out with us until the end. We survived the 3 days, I said. I'm Nihat Gurmen. I am one of the co-founders of Dexalot. And today I'm joined by Micheal Feng from Hummingbot Foundation. And we will be going over the Hummingbot usage operation on Dexalot platform. It will allow individuals to do market making as well as algorithmic trading in general. So let me just briefly go over the agenda. So we will define a few key terms that will be important to understand the context, and then give a very, very brief introduction to market making in general, and then quickly switch the subject to a hands-on demo that Mike will lead. So let's go over a few of terminology first, so we can actually standardize the language we will be using. Dexalot is a central limit order book based exchange. So central limit order book is a visible collection of orders of buys and sells essentially, right? And just like your customerly see on Binance or Coinbase, Dexalot shows these buys and sell sites in a kind of pretty traditional order book fashion. And this is the sell side. This is the top of the book on the buy side. And the spread between those two top of books is the window of opportunity for a market making or algorithmic trading bot, right? And the clubs have the unique ability to allow users to enter limit orders, right? So because of that, it eliminates the need for a big value locked in the system and gets away with the from the impermanent loss, right? And it's very capital efficient, so with very, very little capital compared to AMMs locked on a order book, you can deliver really good prices, and hence most of the traditional finance as well as any high functioning marketplace of assets use club exchanges. And the liquidity related to these order books is the quantifiable ability to trade at a price level, right? If you can take a look at this one, if I want to buy this asset at 100, I have room to buy that 15 quantities, right? If I want to buy 18 of them, then I have to pay at least 3 of them at 1,200, right? So the ability to provide that kind of liquidity is extremely important, and it's typically done by institutional providers, and it's called market making. And it can be measured in many ways, total volume as well as average spread paid per unit size. But in the end, one small takeaway message is, the more the liquidity is, the better prices you will get, right? So the prices you would like to pay for buys and sells or will be essentially satisfied by the market. When it comes to market making, they are the main source of liquidity when it comes to central limit order books, and typically done by big corporations or big pockets. And the unique feature of Hummingbot, why I'm quite frankly I'm mesmerized by it, is the fact that it gives the power of market making and in general algorithmic trading to the hands of you and I, really, if you will, right? So that's I think it's very, very powerful, and it fits the overall decentralized ethos very well. And that's why we would like to collaborate even more. Market makers are people or software that eventually always have a bid or an offer on the order book for people to trade on, right? So hence they are called market maker. Typically, they need to know an appropriate price for an asset at any time, right? So that's called fair price. And typically they apply a spread around that fair price and build a window of, you can call it opportunity or a window of opportunity of execution, right? And at a high level, once you have a fair price, then the market making is simply just adding buy orders and sell orders according to a strategy you have. And as the trades happen, managing the risk and making sure that you are on the winning side and you are net positive in general, right? So in a very, very simple way, if there is an asset has a fair price of $91, if I'm selling it at 92, then I have an unrealized gain of $1, right? Similarly, if I'm buying at cheaper at 90, again, the same logic applies, and I have an unrealized gain of $1. And as the market maker, I can adjust the spread depending on the volatility or all kinds of external or internal factors as well. Maybe my technology is suffering and I need to take it for some reason slowly. I can expand the spread, take things slowly. Or if everything is good, I can just narrow the spread and offer prices at really close to fair market price. What it does, as the spread gets higher or larger, the volume of execution will drop, but individual orders will have more profits in them, right? Because that's farther away from the fair price. But as I get closer to the fair price, the number of executions will increase, but the individual profit margins for each of these orders will diminish. But I will be making quite a bit of trades. So now we will be focusing on Hummingbot. This is essentially nothing related to Hummingbot itself, but I just found myself, instead of double M, I just typed single M, and I ended up in a scam site. Just be aware of whenever you are about to connect your wallet to some website, be on the lookout. Are you on the actual site you want it to be? Just be aware. I mean, after this much experience, I almost fell actually prey to that, right? So just wanted to highlight that. So Hummingbot has three main components and three basic concepts. One is the miner, deminer side, which is a reward system. And then on this side, gateway and Hummingbot itself. So deminer, or the miner, is a reward system essentially funded by ecosystem project or the project itself to incentivize executions. And D stands for the decentralized version. So if you are using Hummingbot connected to decentralized exchanges, it's the deminer, or centralized exchanges, it's miner. And then the gateway is a middleware application that essentially simplifies the connection between the Hummingbot to the decentralized exchanges like Dexalot. But what we are going to show is generic enough. Actually, you don't have to use it with Dexalot. We prefer that you do it with Dexalot. But it can be used. It's essentially, it opens up the connection of Hummingbot to all kinds of different Dexalot exchanges, decentralized exchanges. And Hummingbot itself is algorithmic trading bot. It has built-in strategies for pure market making as well, ARB strategies. You can do cross-exchange trading, sell on Dexalot, buy from Binance, for example. It's a lot of power that it gives into your hands, actually, if you know how to use it well enough. And Micheal is actually one of the person who co-founded the project. I thought it will be the best person to do the demo and introduce Hummingbot to you all. And thanks for accepting that. I think I'm done at this point, so probably it's better to do the hands-on demo and show you how flexible it is.
Thank you, Nihat. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike. And before I get started, let me offer a quick prayer to the demo gods, because I'm also running on my phone's hotspot, so we'll see if this works. Pray. A live demo, yes. Okay. So, all right. So before we start, this is what Hummingbot looks like. It's a command-line interface. So the way this works is this side, the right-hand side is like a log. So it tells you what all your orders and trades are happening. And then on this side is like a command-line interface. So, I used to play a lot of like text adventure games when I was a kid. So this is kind of how we designed it. So you can basically do like a help to see all the commands, a bunch of commands. And then I've already preloaded this with I've already added my API keys and my private keys to Dexalot. So you can type the balance command and see basically your balances across all the exchanges you've connected to with Hummingbot. So I have Dexalot, I have KuCoin, I have Trader Joe, and I also have Uniswap connected to this right now. But before we get started at the demo, let me show you kind of what will we actually be doing using the Dexalot interface. So let me go over to Chrome and then open Dexalot. So this is the market that we will be making a market on. This is the AVAX USDC market on Dexalot. And so currently, currently, is this in order? Oh, okay. So currently, let me do a refresh. Let's see what it looks like right now, and hopefully it loads. Yes, it works. So currently, what I want to point out is the spread is 0.3 cents, right? Now, 0.3 cents may not sound like a lot, but if you look at here, like mid price is 17.12, and then I'm trying to make this a little bigger. Okay. The top ask is 1711, and the top bid is 1709 right now, right? So right now the spread is 0.02. But let's look at where this market is trading on KuCoin. This is actually the AVAX USDT market, but it's similar. So what I want to just show you guys is the differential in spreads between like a really liquid centralized exchange and versus that of a decentralized exchange from Dexalot. So currently, a very similar market on KuCoin is trading much tighter than Dexalot. So currently in KuCoin, the market, if you look at these spreads here, KuCoin has like less than a 1 cent spread, right? Because the top ask is 17.084. It's actually less than 1 cent, because like here's the 3 decimal places. On Dexalot, it's only 1. So the reason I showed this is because this is how most people use Hummingbot. They're not just making a market on Dexalot. You could do that, but you're taking risk of the market going other direction. What most people are doing is they're essentially transferring liquidity from a larger exchange like KuCoin onto Dexalot and earning like an arbitrage-like spread in between. So that's actually what I'll try to show you with Hummingbot. So we're going to try to create a bot that is providing liquidity to Dexalot, but then it's using the KuCoin order book to basically create those prices. And then whenever you get a fill, it'll basically hedge on KuCoin and earn a spread in between. So this is called cross-exchange market making. And this is actually what most market makers do anyway, because they're always hedging on an exchange. And the reason you want to do this is because you're essentially, it's almost like you're Robinhood. You're kind of pulling from the rich exchange, which is Binance KuCoin, and you're providing liquidity on the poorer exchange, which is the Dexalot. And because and the reason this works is because Dexalot, it's a decentralized exchange, it's new, there aren't as many market makers, you don't see Jump Capital on Dexalot, whereas Jump is playing on Binance KuCoin. And so effectively, you're not competing with the big boys, but you're taking that information and putting on Dexalot and hedging on that larger venue. So let's go ahead and run the bot, and let's hope this works. So usually the way you would start this is you would use the create command, and create, if I can spell, And then this will let you create like a market making strategy. You can pick from the ones that we have here, or you can load like a custom script. In the purpose of this demo, I've actually already loaded up a cross-exchange market making strategy. So I'm gonna actually import that strategy here. So I'll import, and here is a configuration file that I've already loaded. And then I'll use a config command to check the parameters of the strategy, and I'll kind of explain what some of them are. So yeah, so we're running the cross-exchange market making strategy. The maker market is the exchange where we're placing the orders and providing liquidity. The taker market is where we're going to hedge the orders if they get filled, and we're also using the KuCoin order book and the prices to actually dictate what orders we're placing on Dexalot. So on the maker market, we're providing liquidity to the AVAX USDC pair, and we're hedging on the AVAX USDC pair. The reason for that is because the AVAX USDC pair is more liquid on Dexalot, but the USDC pair for AVAX is more liquid on KuCoin. So we always want to kind of provide liquidity to the most liquid markets if we can. And then finally, minimum profitability means we're going to essentially set a spread. We're going to try to make a spread on every order. So we want to basically make sure that there's 10 basis point spread between the order where we can hedge on KuCoin and the order we're placing on Binance. So if you think about it, like conceptually, you can think about like, here's a spread on Dexalot, here's a spread on KuCoin, and we're going to capture that differential in between. And finally, there's some other settings that kind of really allow you to tune, kind of like what your order amount is, whether you're going to cancel orders or you kind of let them expire, which is important because you are going to pay gas, a small amount of gas every time you cancel on Dexalot. And other factors kind of basically allow you to control, like kind of based on the volume on the order books, how much you're setting in terms of prices. So obviously this is a bit complex, but I think market making is a competitive environment. So the way we think about it is we want to give you every edge at your disposal as a market maker. So let's go ahead and run the bot. I'm going to just hit the start command, and let's hope this works. Let's see. Okay, so error. That's not a good status check. Okay, so it can't connect to the KuCoin API, which is not good. Invalid. Okay, all right. Let me try restarting Hummingbot because I think I started this before I did my phone Wi-Fi. So let me start it again, and we'll try that from scratch. Okay. All right. Let's see if gateway is online. Gateway is now online, so now we can connect to DEXs. And let's import the strategy again. And let us start again. Okay, so now it did a little check. It can successfully ping the node to connect to Dexalot, and also can connect to KuCoin. It'll have balances, so let's get started. So it's initializing, and it looks like it's placing orders on Dexalot. So let's look at what's happening on the exchange itself. So, yep, looks like both orders are placed already. So you can see the yellow dot on the bid side and the sell side. I think there are actually two orders. So let me see if the second order has shown up in the UI. Yep, there they are. So these two orders, Hummingbot will maintain for you. And what it's going to do is it's going to use the information over here, which is KuCoin, and it will make sure that these orders are kind of like have a spread above the KuCoin orders, so that if you do get filled, then it will actually hedge on KuCoin, and you'll earn that spread. And so that's basically it. You can run the bot. So let's see if we can. Let's see. You can also do the status command in Hummingbot. That also kind of like shows you, what your balances are, what orders you're placing, what the prices are as well. And so yeah, and this is really like how it works. So this is kind of like the main thing. So I am going to try one thing. I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to try something slightly dangerous, which is I'm going to decrease the spreads.
Before you do that, can I mention?
Oh, of course.
Thanks. Can you switch over to the exchange?
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing to note here, actually, so in Dexalot, we would like to incentivize users to help to create a healthy order book, right? So we have what we call Dexalot incentive program and reward program that is identified by this shaded area. Actually, the order book goes in both ways further, and the shaded area actually ends there. But if your orders are in the shaded area, you will be earning dip rewards. So they are incentivized by how big they are, how close they are to the big midpoint, and how long they stay on the order book. All these parameters are very, very important, maintaining a healthy order book that will benefit all the community, all the users of Dexalot. That's why we are very adamant about incentivizing that properly. So therefore, we are putting a monthly 200,000 a lot reward program that is distributed among all these DIP. In addition to that, if your trading wallet is registered with the D miner that I mentioned earlier, you are also tapping into reward mechanism of the D miner that is incentivized by ecosystem projects. So for example, in our exchange, AVAX USDC and BTC.BUSDC have both D miner rewards as well as the DIP program by default. Just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nihat. That's a really important thing to point out, because the advice we always give our users is you always want to kind of like run bots when you feel like you have an edge, right? So the edge here comes from the fact that you're earning an arbitrage spread between Dexalot and KuCoin, and on top of that, you're earning rewards from Dexalot, and you can also earn rewards from Hummingbot and D miner. So there's like 3 sources of profit here when you run a bot. So we have 5 minutes left, so let's try something a little crazy. I'm actually going to try to fill one of my own orders. Well, at first I'm going to tighten the spreads, fill one of the orders, and then let's see if the bot's actually going to hedge properly in KuCoin, and let's see if it actually makes a profit or not. So actually, I do have this order here, so I'm actually going to try to fill this order myself. So trade, and I'm going to buy, and I'm going to buy at this price, 17.12. which is, and I'm going to buy exactly how much I placed, which is 0.5 AVAX. Okay, let's see my price spreads. Oh, I just canceled my orders. So, oh, okay, so wait, I need to actually set my orders a little tighter. So let's change our spreads here. I'm going to stop the bot. And I'm going to set my spreads tighter. And the way I'll do that is I'm going to change the minimum profitability so that it's basically negative. So, and that should ensure that basically that I'm at the top of the order book. So let's change this to negative 0.1% and restart the bot. Okay, so it reset those levels, and now, let's see. Now I have the tightest order on the book, and, oh, not anymore. Okay, man, this guy is a really, someone just jumped me, so. So this is a real market maker, because this person has 29 AVAX, and as soon as I put a spread, the person jumped me, and I guess he jumped back. So these are kind of games that kind of market makers play, but you can play them too with Hummingbot. So now let's try to fill this order at 17.11. And let's see if the bot hedges. Buy AVAX, please convert MetaMask. Confirm. Oh, okay. Missed it. Instead of, I'm going to get filled at 17.10, I think. Yeah. So, all right, that's okay. We can sell, I think, because in sell is 17.08, I guess. Okay, let's try this. Sell, not available in portfolio. Wow, okay. Well, actually, can't canceled, created. Top loop again. Yes, let's try hitting that bid. Let's hit that bid. Amount not available in portfolio. Okay. Ooh, still not portfolio. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Got it. Thank you. 1709 by firm. Oh, I canceled. Oh, filled. Let's go to Hummingbot. Order filled. Okay, so it did do the hedge. See, it said maker sell order filled, and you also see a line that says taker buy order filled. So basically, what that meant is after your maker order was filled on Dexalot, the bot hedged on KuCoin, and then you can run the history command to see what actually happened. So wait, let me just do the verbose. 1 second. The verbose flag will actually show you the trades as well. So basically, as you can see here, so we did one trade on Dexalot. That was at 1709. And the trade on KuCoin was at 1705. So we bought and we sold. That's right. So we made a 4-cent profit because it hedged at 1705. And yeah, that's Hummingbot. Thank you.
Do you have a T-WAP strategy, and does it work with Dexalot?
Yes, we do.
And it works with Dexalot, like
Yes.
integrated? Okay.
Yes, because the strategies work with all of our exchanges. They're like agnostic between connectors and strategies.
Okay, thank you.